Hey guys, DJParson here, and I have another great match for you guys. It's gonna be of the current Intermezzo championship, where I'm still fighting in the Grandmasters League, so the top league. So you guys will hopefully see some top matches. I'm not gonna show all the matches. I think you can check out more of these on the channel of Weidenbaum, because Weidenbaum is once again in the same group and the Grandmasters League as me, so he's gonna cover a couple of games where he's involved, and I probably gonna cover most of the rest of the matches. So yeah, that being said, let's start in this match where I have the first turn. We are up against Tamirus and Wozniak. Alright, green, blue, green, and myself. Let's take a quick look at the leaders and wonders. We have seen the Colosseum picked up by myself. We have the Pyramids, Sun Tzu, No Zizka, we have Joan of Arc and Bach and Marlene. We do see Shakespeare, Gutenberg, we see the Suez, but no Cook, the Magic Castle, Great Wall, United Nations, Internet, no Hollywood. Alright, couple of MAs. Yeah, some good synergies with Joan of Arc. We have Napoleon and Robespierre here, Shakespeare for a lot of culture, 3-player games. A lot is possible, either strength or also those high culture matches. So yeah, I've picked up the Colosseum for myself, and then we can check out what the others will grab. Tamirus goes for Ashoka and the Frugality. Interesting that he goes Frugality over Rich Land. But I guess he might be planning to keep that in hand anyway. And then green will get Confucius and the Stockpile. Confucius, of course, being one of the top leaders at the moment, so that is definitely not unexpected. I get myself Alexander, so I do get a leader. I can elect him immediately, build a mine, and increase population, so just doing the standard stuff. So pretty solid start. Okay wonder and a good, or okay leader. I guess both of them are okay, and that's good enough. Tamirus picks up the Roman roads, builds a mine, increases pop, elects Ashoka. Won't be producing any extra rocks yet, so he needs another different colored card in his hand. And then we see green go for Aristotle. He will, Confucius. He will build that mine and use the stockpile. Doesn't want the Colossus, doesn't want the cultural heritage or the urban growth. Decides to just spend a civil action on going for the stockpile. Alrighty, so next up I will build a lab, can then increase population, 2 civil actions left, and I will decide against all of these HA cards. I mean, 2 urban growths from HA, first problem, 2 cards in hand, so half full hand. And then I've already just built the philosophy, so not really too much to do with the urban growths at the moment. So I decided to pick up the best card from the second civil action row, which in this case for me is the breakthrough, so a little bit of extra science boost. I draw the reds, so I could play them later on. I have used Alexander, by the way. Tamirus picks up the alchemy, will start building on the Roman roads. And this looks like a good start for him. He will have the extra rock production now from Ashoka. He will have the alchemy for, yeah, maybe in 2 turns he can use that. But for now it just enables Ashoka. He will finish the Roman roads next turn, and with that he will be producing even more rocks. Afterwards can go for the alchemy to get a lot of science. It's a pretty solid start. Rocks first, and then afterwards the option for a lot of science. Green opens or offers the open borders agreement to myself, which I happily accept. Of course, one of the best cards in a 3-player match especially is the open borders agreement, getting that extra MA for free, or most of the cases for free, and just have to give one to your opponent, of course, and the danger of an extra 2 strength in the aggression. And green will go for the Magic Castle, has picked up 2 urban growths, so that would make a transition into alchemy pretty cheap. He could upgrade both of his labs quite cheap, just spending 1 rock each. So yeah, that's probably what he's looking for. There's only 1 copy left, so we will see if he can grab that. And then he hasn't got a wonder yet, decides against the pyramids and in favor of the Magic Castle. I now will pick up Michelangelo. Sadly, I didn't start building on the Colosseum. It would be perfect here if I could have finished the Colosseum this turn and then pick up the Great Wall. Would have made for a very, very strong opening in my opinion. But sadly, I can't do that. I can develop that masonry. I have the extra science from the breakthrough. So still will have 5 science left next turn for a couple of different techs. And then I will save civil actions on the Colosseum. This would have made it even better to go for the Great Wall. The Silk Road is still an option, but that's probably going to be gone. Or not even probably, it's definitely going to be gone, I think. And then the Forbidden City might be what I pick up next. Because of course the plan is finish the Colosseum next turn and get a new wonder. So I will start building on the Colosseum. Then Timurus, what does he do? He picks up the Code of Laws, finishes the Roman roads, picks up a rich land, so pretty full hand, has finished the Roman roads, will be producing quite a lot of food. So he will have to be careful with corruption eventually, but not yet I would think. Especially because he can just build an alchemy next turn. This is going to be very strong. He can develop that, just build one. He has the population for that. And that will not give him any problems to spend enough rocks to get out of corruption. So pretty solid start. I mean, now especially with that production, 5 rocks and 3 food. You can see why I'm worried for him about corruption, but I think he will manage okay. Unless there's going to be a lot of developments. And we will see the first one now, development of religion. Green can't take it, I can take it, and it's pretty good for me, or okay with Michelangelo. It will be producing extra culture. And Timurus can also take it, and he has so much food and population to come that he's also going to take it, I guess. Green now increases pop twice and grabs Eleanor. Okay, so that's going to be his leader. Then on my next turn I can't push. We get the development of settlement. That helps with the population. So I get the free religion. I build the Colosseum. I can pick up the Forbidden City. Some would say that has not the greatest synergy with Michelangelo because it doesn't have happy faces and actively tries to prevent you from going for happy faces in a way. But in a lot of cases, Michelangelo is not all about the culture production from happy face. It's more about getting early good wonders, getting the extra rocks and building those wonders, and not so much just worrying about that culture early on. I will still be producing 3 culture now, 2 of that from Michelangelo, so that's pretty nice. I have 1 civil action left and I pick up the rich land. Could have also picked up the irrigation here, I think. There's still another copy left of that and 2 iron. And yeah, my thought here is I have not the best rock production. I have Michelangelo and a relatively or normal expensive wonder. I just finished the Colosseum. Still need all the rocks for Forbidden City. Would be great to get iron, to get more rocks. In general, more rocks are what I need at the moment, because I have these wonders that I want to finish, and even after finishing that wonder there's maybe another to come, and then especially in H2, so I want rocks more than anything at the moment. A couple of tactics in hand is also a good sign, but first Timurus opens the development of science. Okay, let's see here if he can get out of corruption. Can go for Gutenberg, okay. That's gonna make it pretty hard to get out of corruption. Maybe he develops the alchemy and builds one and increases population. Alright, I mean, he's gonna have very limited use of Gutenberg, since he used 1 of his extra actions this turn, but he's only gonna be able to build 1 extra upgrade, 1 extra philosophy to alchemy next turn, and after that, what does he do with Gutenberg? Maybe can go for the last printing press, but that's not too likely. He can go for the Code of Laws next turn, so the extra science will be quite useful. So that's what he decides to do here. And definitely not looking bad, as I said. I think he has a good start. Still okay rocks and good science. Development of crafts now gives Rorzinek enough rocks to finish the Himeji Castle. He elects Eleanor, grabs the monarchy, which he can go for immediately. Yeah, he does that. Grabs frugality as well. And then with those urban growths, he's maybe going to go for 2 extra or 2 early dramas, which is not going to be bad. Going to give him a lot of culture production. And of course, he's going to get some extra culture from Eleanor now as well. I will get the iron here, which is nice. I can develop that, upgrade 2 times without the rich land to get out of corruption. So I have found my rock production now, which is great. Next turn I can upgrade the last one, and then in a couple of turns I can finish the Forbidden City. I don't have to worry about my food just sitting here since I have the reds in hand. So of course I didn't want to play that, didn't want to push, and I also didn't want to push the call to arms because that then could be on top, and that would mean that I, as the weakest, could get punished by that. As I said, I still have those good tactics, especially the medieval army, so both knights and actually both swordsmen are still in, so if I can get those knights, that would be great. Michelangelo, at the moment, not doing too much. He's, up to this point, I mean, producing 2 cultures, not shabby, and he's given us 1 extra civil action for getting the Forbidden City, and 1 rock. Not the greatest use. We could still go for Machu Picchu. There's still 1 irrigation left, and we have that iron. So yeah, he might still get better, but at the moment he's just okay. But I think I picked him up most because I had Alexander and used him early and wanted anything, and anything is better than maybe something better in the future if I had waited for a better leader. Timirus also goes up to 3 strength. Grabs the iron for himself, reserves here, and another reserves. Was able to use Gutenberg, but as I said, next turn there's nothing to do for Gutenberg. He's printed all those books. Rebellion. Ooh, that hurts green a little bit, losing 2 civil actions here. Can then develop the drama, build 1. I think at the moment I like his position the least. He's got a wonder, which in general is a good wonder. Don't get me wrong, but one problem is it doesn't really provide you with anything. He has no extra production of anything. He has the absolute minimum that you want to have, like the absolute standard 3 rocks, 2 science, and nothing more, which at the end of H1 is not a lot. He does have the monarchy, but besides that, not too much. So I think he has the weakest position at the moment, mainly because the magic castle doesn't provide him with anything really at the moment. A little bit of strength that might come in handy, so that could be a way for him to benefit from that if there are strength events. But he's gonna stay on 3 strength here, so he's not even gonna be the strongest if I push or if Timirus pushes. I though will push, and we get an extra science from the Confucius card. I can pick up the knight, so I will also get stronger, which is great for me, saving the science thanks to the Colosseum. So I feel pretty confident that my position is okay, at least. Compared to Timirus, yeah, very different position. But I would say about equally strong. I think I will have the better military thanks to the knights and the medieval army. So with that I might give myself a slight advantage here. Also with 3 iron upgraded already. He will do that only next turn, but he can also upgrade all the iron next turn, so he's going to be looking very strong, and he will have double the science protection of me. So yeah, it's hard to say which position I would like more, but I definitely feel like I have a better position than green at the moment. So 7 rocks, sadly 1 rock missing for finishing the Forbidden City, but yeah, I had to build that knight. I guess I could have. Nah, even waiting with the bronze upgrade. I had the rich land, so that wouldn't have given me an extra rock next turn. So that might mean no Machu Picchu. One thing I also am still missing is an extra civil action. Timirus does have that, so yeah, Timirus has a very solid position, no doubt. So Timirus will push. We have the new deposits. That is very well timed. I think I played that, but I'm not sure. I didn't look at which card I played. But this is awesome for me. 6 extra rocks just after upgrading all the iron and just before Timirus upgrades his iron. So this of course does give him all the rocks to upgrade, but he had that anyway, so he will upgrade 1, 2 and 3. And then with his last selection grabs a breakthrough. and builds a swordsman, so to not be weaker than green on his turn. And green, as we start into H2, really push. I mean, he's Eleanor, so he will drawing 2 extra H2 cards, and we get an extra science from Confucius once again. He goes for the code, so that extra science actually really important. We'll build an extra warrior. We'll build an extra drama, grab knights and cultural heritage. But he doesn't copy the tactics, so he doesn't get stronger than Tamiris. I think, yeah, we had 2 Confucius cards, so this card has been played by Tamiris. So green is playing a little bit with fire, unless he does copy still. No, he doesn't. He doesn't copy. So I will probably push. Let's see what I push. Good harvest in my hand. Do I push that? I think I should. Yeah. It is the foray, so War was a neck. Maybe should have copied, knowing that the card was from Tamiris. Probably should have copied it. I guess he didn't know that that could have also been my card. But yeah, this is more great news for me. I can take 2 food probably to increase population. Can finish the Forbidden City. Now there's irrigation and Machu Picchu here. Let's see what I do here. I will build an extra farm and increase population. I think there would have maybe been an argument to also go for the Machu Picchu. Yeah, we might not get the irrigation, but it's still strong, especially with that masonry. And with Michelangelo, we can produce extra rocks from Machu Picchu to build more wonders. If we had gone to up to 8 rock production, we could have really went heavy on all of those wonders coming out. A lot of them are just generally very good, like the Howard College, Eiffel Tower, Kremlin as well with our happy faces, and the Forbidden City. I mean, we might still get it. I think now, yeah, thinking more about it, might be a mistake to not go for Machu Picchu. Let's see what I pick up here. Swordsman, okay. I mean, that's also useful, of course. But probably not going to get the Machu Picchu here. Tamiris could go for it. Yeah, green can't go for it. We will see. We will see. It does stay on 2 for Tamiris, so he's maybe not going to pick it up. And we draw some colonies and the fortifications. Fortifications can still be very useful, so that is a good draw. Any H2 tactic here is great. I mean, not the best with the Colosseum, Knights already developed and Swordsman in hand. But as a backup, it's always useful to have that. And we get Cultural Influence, 6, 3, and 1. Selected breeding, so no Machu Picchu for Tamiris. He will upgrade both food. Oh, yeah, Tamiris is looking super strong now. He had everything besides food at the start of H2, and now first turn in H2, he upgrades both of his food to selective breeding. So yeah, very impressive start. 5 science, 6 rocks, 4 food. He just needs happy faces, but we're at the beginning of H2 where, yeah, if at the beginning of H2 and you're only missing happy faces, and besides that you basically have everything, you're looking very good. So he's definitely the opponent to look out for. Green now will push, gets strategic territory, which he himself will be able to win for just Warrior and a couple of cards. So that's good for him. Grabs the breakthrough, grabs the 1 efficient upgrade, builds a Warrior, goes up to 6 strength, and grabs the cannon. Alright, so now I can still go for Machu Picchu, so maybe I didn't need it last turn. I will push. We get the Dark Ages, 2 science lost. That hurts with low science production. We would have really wanted that. But on the other hand, we can just keep building wonders. So with the Machu Picchu finished, I could just pick up the Louvre immediately, and I do that. Yeah, sure. I mean, we have all the rocks. 8 plus 3 is 12. So sadly not enough to finish the Louvre next turn. Louvre is not the best wonder here immediately, but it's also not bad. We have 1 extra blue cube from Machu Picchu. Louvre this early on will be a lot of culture. Probably my favorite here would have been the Howard College, of course. Getting that extra science would have been the best. I'm still able to pick up a patriotism. But yeah, this is basically the game plan here is pick up as many wonders as possible, spend the rocks there, save up the science for government form. I still need a government form. I could also, instead of a government form, maybe go for journalism or scientific method. So yeah, that's basically the plan. Spend rocks on wonders as long as I can, or as I must, because I don't have other alternatives. So yeah. Timurus now will get stronger, upgrades 1, 2 of those warriors to riflemen. Picks up the journalism thanks to the extra civil action from Gutenberg, breakthrough and cavalryman. So now he also got good military techs, has the rifleman already developed and the cavalryman in the hand. Cannon might also come to him, but it's more likely that we get it since green already has it and I'm in front of blue. Green now pushes once again. We get the vast territory, which I'm able to win. So that's some good news. Just a knight and it will be mine. Then green will grab Bach. Bach is not bad here. He will go up to 10 culture production. So that's his big advantage. Grabs the Suez Canal, grabs reserves, and starts building on the Suez Canal. So yeah, sure, if he has a good colony now in hand, he can finish the Suez Canal next turn. Will go up to 5 rock production with the extra colony, so that's not going to be bad, and maybe fixes his population issue as well. If he gets a good H2 colony, then he's not looking bad. Then he's definitely not looking bad. Will reveal a tactic, but doesn't fulfill it, so he stays at 6 strength. Yeah, one problem, as I said, is that I don't have enough rocks to finish the Louvre, because it would have been really amazing to get the Kremlin here as well. So sadly I won't be able to pick up that one. Could go for scientific method though, but first we get the good harvest. A lot of food, a lot of food. Timurus 17, green has 3, but 17 and 10 food for me and Timurus. So what do I decide? I go for Napoleon. I will increase pop once, twice, build up a knight, go up to 9 strength, so he will be the strongest. And I will build yet another knight. So probably not gonna go for the fortifications, but going up to 11 strength. If I had a war, I would like this even more, but I think this also works. Alternative probably would have been scientific method. But this is also fine. This also does allow us to go for a republic. I mean, that was probably always possible with the Colosseum. But now we have a lot of MAs. I mean, some of them are temporary, or actually a lot of them are temporary. One from Napoleon, one from the Pact, and one from the Patriotism I just played. But yeah, being strongest here for the next deck. A lot of cards from H2 already. Yeah, it's not looking bad still. Yeah, I guess the problem was I probably needed to switch leaders here anyway. I can't finish the Louvre, so I can't pick up the Kremlin or the Eiffel Tower, and after that there's only the Harvard College left, and if that is at the end, I won't be able to use Michelangelo again. So switching him up for Napoleon, going up to 14 strength, actually applying a lot of pressure. Yeah, I like that. Probably was my best option here. Timurus opens another territory. Timurus is able to win it, and Timurus has to send a rifleman. Relatively expensive, but still okay. And then he will develop cavalryman, build one. He's not drawing any. He has no cards in his hand whatsoever. That is dangerous. That means I can just go for an aggression on him, since he's not going to draw new cards. He won't be able to defend. So I could just play the aggression, steal 5 of his rocks. Maybe that's what I can do here. You will increase pop, grab urban growth, pop again. Alright. Alright. Green now, will he push? Yes, he pushes. We get the wealthy territory, which I'm able to win. Okay, that might mean I can't. I have to send the full army. I'm not sure if for this bid, if I was aware that I could have just stolen the rocks from Timurus. Now that's a cheap aggression. I guess it's also good to play, like Ravages of Time is playable, Independence Declaration is playable, so that also has some worth. But stealing the rocks, especially from Timurus, would have been really nice, especially because he then couldn't have gone for the journalism. So maybe this bid was a mistake and I should have just bid like one knight or one swordsman or warrior. That would have still left me with enough strength to attack Timurus. But maybe I didn't check Timurus's hand before bidding. And maybe I didn't see that he had no cards in hand that I, even with 11 strength, even if I had stayed only at 11 strength, I could have gone for the aggression. So yeah. On the other hand, colonies are great for me. I can just, with this cannon now showing up in green's turn, I can just pick that up next turn and then go for the fortifications. So that is also a way to transition, send an army for the colony and then go for cannons. Green has finished the sewers. Does he get a colony? I hope so for him, yes. And it's going to be the vast territory, so indeed he will go up to 5 rock production and get a lot of population in the future. Increases pop here, and that's going to be it. Alright, so do I push now? I'm not the weakest, I'm sadly also not the strongest, so I don't push. Interesting. I think I could have pushed the independence declaration. I mean, all of these have been played by Green, who has been the weakest for quite some time, so why not push the independence declaration? Especially that could have hurt Green. Timurus also has a colony, so with me having Napoleon, I don't think I will be the weakest ever again. Or maybe not ever, but in the near future, so I think I should have played the independence declaration. I will then go for cannon. Build one and another one. Increase population. Could have also maybe picked up the frugality. I even built another cannon, so going up to 20 strength. So enabling the aggression plunder once again. Yeah, a lot of strength. Sadly not able to finish the Louvre, but I can do that next turn to still get the culture boost. Looking at culture, I have 30 versus 21 versus 69, so Green has really started with that. But he's still lagging behind in other things, like his production is way worse than ours. I mean, he's at 5 now, but I'm at 8. Timurus is at 6 and also has a lot of food and science. So I still think it's looking good for me and Timurus, even after arguably my mistake of winning the colony. Yeah, you could argue that, I think. Especially with me not having the most population, sending 2 away is expensive. But, I mean, my food is even fine. I have 4 food production thanks to the Machu and the 3rd farm. So it's not like I don't get new population. I have 3 extra each turn. And it was good to transition if I wanted to transition into the fortifications. So maybe it's not too bad. I just think the extra plunder would have been really, really useful. Timurus now goes for Robespierre and the Republic Revolution. Still not drawing any cards. Okay. So we could once again try the aggression, if we so choose. So he's not having any... He has not had a lot of card draw in H2, that's for sure. Green will get stronger now, builds a knight, grabs the coal, can develop then an upgrade 1. So he's getting up there with the rock production. Revolutionary idea, alright. So that is really useful for him with only two science production. So now I could go for the aggression. Let's see if I do that. No, I push instead. We get the iconoclasm. I mean, getting that out of the way is also not bad. But once again, why do I not go for the aggression? I mean, maybe I feel like the rocks aren't worth that much because Timurus has a lot of them and I also have a lot of them. But a guaranteed plunder is a lot of rocks changing hands. Maybe I was afraid I couldn't really use them, but I could have built just another cannon or something like that. But I finish the Louvre, will increase population, and then hopefully, yeah, I plan on going for the Republic Revolution next turn. I mean, this does set it up pretty nicely. Can go for the Revolution next turn and build another cannon. 6 culture production now, so that's good. I'm getting ahead of Timurus. I don't have any culture text in hand. I'm skip the opera here. But I guess my route is not the culture one. My route is produce a little bit of culture on the side and then really put a lot of pressure on these guys with my military. I mean, I'm 20, and I can easily go for another cannon and fortifications. That really would boost me quite a lot. I have the necessary MAs, even though I will lose one at the end of the age. Spy, on the other hand, is an aggression I could, or probably would have gone for a lot earlier. But the plunder, yeah, I guess I just felt like the rocks weren't worth as much as they sometimes are, maybe. This strategy is great for Tamurus. He gets up to 14 strength, 19 strength. Increased population as he built another. Yeah, he builds another journalism. So yeah, taking those 5 rocks out of his hand would have been pretty good. In hindsight, I do regret that a little bit. Not punishing him more. You will have 3 unhappy workers, so still no happy faces for him. There is no happy face tech in the deck anymore. And Tamurus will finally draw some H2 cards. And then we start into H3. Tamurus has big happy face problems. Green has good rocks now, still not the best population, but a big culture lead. But his military is not looking too strong. And then me, I still have okay food. I mean, I still get 1 population each 2 turns. I have 1 at the moment, so I can easily build a cannon. I don't have a government, but I can still go for the Republic next turn. But let's see, refugees is great. That has been played by me. I think I had that, so that's the first really big benefit from being so strong, pushing a lot of strength. So green will lose population and I will gain 1. You will go for even more strength, even more rock production, grab the wave of nationalism, and a selective breeding. So he's lagging behind a little bit in infrastructure, but he could still get that online. Maybe the 3rd coal and the selective breedings, and he will still have that culture that he will have to defend. But he might have a good tactic for his cannon, maybe knight or something like that. Okay. Inhabited territory, I'm able to win there actually. Sailor, I think I will have to send both. Yeah, have to send the army. Of course, there's going to be some not so great synergy with Napoleon. I mean, usually you would say, great, get rid of these units, replace them with cannons. But let's see what I do here. I do grab the scientific method, so I decide don't want to go for the Republic Revolution. I want science, I need more science, and scientific method here at this moment is great. I can develop that and upgrade 2 of them. And then I could still next turn go for the Republic Revolution or journalism. I still have the discount from the Masonry, so Masonry has done a lot in this game. I mean, it has saved us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 civil actions, and now 2 rocks, so good tech. Next turn I could do the Revolution to Republic, build a couple of extra cannons, or switch it up and go for journalism still. I will reveal the tactic, making me go up to 16 strength. Will I build an extra cannon? No. I would have had to use the extra rocks from the Louvre, but I decide against it and stay at 16 strength. Enough to defend against Tamurus, but I guess I hope there's not going to be any strength events. Independence Declaration is a strength event, but I don't lose on it, and green will, which is really bad for green. He loses a colony with his sewers, so that's not perfect. And he has 2 good colonies that you don't want to lose, 2 extra strength and 4 yellow cubes. Of course, he can't get rid of the vast, so he will have to destroy the strategic, losing 2 strength. Not the end of the world, but also not too great. Tamurus now still looking for happy faces, but first he will pick up the rockets and the reserves, as well as engineering. Alright, I mean, he already has a lot of urban buildings, so engineering. And it could still come in super handy if he goes and upgrades to computers or builds more journalisms. And he needs happy faces, so that's coming from urban buildings as well. So either he goes for pro sports or movies and Marlene or Chaplin. So engineering is still a great tech, and he's with that science production, he's looking very solid still. Green now opens economic progress. He himself gets 7 rocks, I get 6 and 4 for Tamurus, and we both get a little bit of food. So pretty equal. I think I like my rocks more than the 1 extra food from Tamurus. But now green will have a lot of rocks, 18. Will build 1 or upgrade 2 farms and the coal. So he will have a great rock production, grabs the military theory, stays relatively weak, but thanks to the Himeji Castle, it might be safe from aggressions. So then what do I do? Do I have sadly no good or no impact at all? A couple of aggressions, but as I said, against green, very unlikely. He could just sacrifice a warrior, no problem for him. So I could push the arms industry, and I will do exactly that. Get the Ravagers of Time. So Roman roads, Himeji Castle will have to be destroyed by green. So green all of a sudden is looking like he's going to be pretty weak without the Himeji Castle, without good techs. Has military theory, but only 2 science production. So for him, the big danger is definitely a war from me or Tamaris. And then I decide to not go for the Republic Revolution. I go for journalism instead, build 1 and 2. And then I will have enough science next turn for Republic, or yet another revolution, go for communism. Communism is looking good. Like communism, I have the population. So communism next turn, I have the happy phases as well. Build 2 cannons, pretty strong. And gives me a lot of military actions, which might be needed, since both me and Tamaris are looking like if either of us draw a war, we're gonna go for the war on green. And yeah. I have first of all go up to 12 culture production versus the 7 from Tamaris, so that's great. 10 science is also good. And there is a war over culture drawn by me. Tamaris now opens popularization of science, so me just building journalism is really great. 10 culture from 10 culture for me, 8 for Tamaris, 2 for Wozniak. So yeah, Tamaris will also lose that Roman roads, meaning he loses another yellow cube. 5 unhappy workers, still no happy faces. Can pick up the computers, and he will develop them as well as the engineering, I would guess. Yeah. And then I can upgrade 1 and 2. So 14 culture, 14 science production for him. Grabs fundamentalism. And has enough science for that. So I was thinking maybe I could go for war over culture, then communism revolution, build 3 cannons, something like that. I would have the rocks from the Louvre. It could be punishing, especially with his unhappy workers, but the chances of a pro sports coming out are relatively high. And then that solves everything for me. Could just build 2 or 3 of those, reveal a new tactic, go for rockets, go for fundamentalism, anything like that. So I think it would be too dangerous with Tamaris having 21 rocks in his hand. Green will go for cannons here, can build 1. He also went for the way of nationalism. Another one, he doesn't go from Gandhi, no, goes and grabs himself a project, so he can finish that next turn, doesn't need military actions, doesn't need population to finish that. So he could then finish that and copy, for example, the fortifications. So he is preparing to defend his culture, but he's not producing more than me anymore. He does have still a lead over Tamaris by quite a bit, 61 to 113 after his production. But yeah, it's not that much. I decide against the war. I mean, at the moment I don't have the military actions, and as I said, I could have gone for communism revolution and built 3 cannons, go for war. And maybe versus green, but green with just having picked up the projects, 13 extra strength is also a lot. So I decide against it. And then will I go? Yes, I go for the communism revolution, build 1 cannon and another cannon, 27 strength, applying a lot of pressure. Freeing up space to go for more journalisms maybe, and in general getting more civil actions from that, and military actions from the communism is good. Even 1 more rock production, which might come in handy. And yeah, I mean, very solid civilization. Food looks bad, but it really isn't. 4 food production and a lot of yellow cubes from inhabited and vast territory is enough. I have more than enough food and 1 extra population in the bank. Would be great to maybe get movies, but 1 will be discarded here, so that is a problem. Happy faces for me, especially happy faces that also generate more culture. So I would really be happy to have opera in hand or even movies. So maybe I could have picked it up here, but I really wanted the revolution. Could have waited 1 turn, but it's also going to be great next turn to have 21 science available and all the civil actions. So yeah, we'll see. Timoris picks up the pro sport, so he finally gets that. Actually goes for a revolution on communism with Robespierre. Then he will build the first pro sports. Grabs reserves, revolutionary idea, another pro sports. Will have corruption, but still a lot of rocks in his hand, 2 reserves, and the revolutionary idea, 33 strength. Green sees the problem being military, so he just finishes Manhattan Project. A solely defensive move, generating just 2 culture, but he really needed that. Can then pick up a revolutionary idea. But first of all, he builds or rebuilds a philosophy into a drama, and then he will go for Gandhi. That protects him a little bit, picks up the revolutionary idea as well. So a lot harder all of a sudden to war green here. Timoris has enough military actions. I don't. I mean, I have enough to declare the war, but that's not going to be enough at this point, because I wouldn't have the strength to also defeat him. He will also destroy Aurora to build a cannon. Okay. Quite expensive to waste or to spend 2 military actions here. But maybe, I guess he's planning on copying my tactic, fortifications and building a cannon. Could have also just copied the cannon tactic here, but he decides to destroy Aurora to build a cannon here. Alright. So I push, we get arms industry, so extra rock for me and green. And 2 extra rocks for Timoris. Can increase population, build a religion. So yeah, if that also might have been or could have been a movies. I can build another journalism, so that's great. Looking at the wonders, we have only Empire State, Internet, and United Nations left. Empire State here not really in reach. That's one problem of Michelangelo. They are pretty expensive to grab here. Grab Winston Churchill. By the way, did I push? No, I did. I forgot what, but Impet of Harmony. Right, I played Impet of Harmony here. And then I will pick up Churchill. I mean, Napoleon isn't really doing much anymore. He's giving 2 strength and a military action. Not too important at the moment. I will go down to 25 strength, but I still have all of these defend cards, so no problem in that regard. Grab a multimedia. Might upgrade these. 15 plus 3, so a lot of culture production, going up to 108. And 33 science. And actually Timoris will go for war on me. Does he have a good tactic in his hand? He has rockets and defensive army, actually. Builds a lot of military. And goes up to 57 strength. Yeah, pretty surprising. I guess I wasn't really ready for that. But I can still defend, maybe. I mean, he also gets Marie Curie, which gives him even more strength. So 60 strength for him. I have 25. That is a lot to do, but there is military theory and 2 air force. So if either of these come out, I have at least a chance. I mean, I have patriotism, 11 rocks plus 6. So the Louvre here showing its defensive possibility. So I have 20 rocks. So I could build a cannon and maybe 2 air forces or something like that. Let's see how I will be able to defend. Green will increase population once, build another cannon. 2 air forces do come out. He copies the tactic. He's going up to 38. Steals 1 air force. That's great for me. So it won't come into the hands of Timoris. And I, of course, will pick up the other one. And of course I still have Churchill, don't forget about Churchill, so I will have a lot of extra stuff. I will push, we get the politics of strength, so sadly I won't be drawing cards, but I will be spending a lot of MAs this turn anyway. So I can increase population, pick up the Air Force, develop that with Churchill. There we are, build Air Force. Destroy a farm, build another air force, destroy a farm, use the rocks and build another air force. And if you're wondering, why I did do that. I did a mistake here. I thought I had 6 cannons and built an air force. I could have just built a cannon instead, wouldn't have had to use the as many rocks from the Louvre, and it would have actually given me more strength if I had built another cannon instead of the air force. So I just miscounted. I played this turn on the phone and I didn't see that I only had 5 cannons, and then I guess I didn't look at my strength. So yeah, small or maybe even big mistake by me. Happens quite fast, or small mistake while doing it, but could have big implications. Since I could have gone up to, with the extra fortifications, I would have had 3 more strength. 3 more strength. I could have been at 53, so I couldn't have beaten him, sadly. Missing actually only 2 rocks to be able to do that, but I didn't have them. And then I have the patriotism. So yeah, 50 strength, 124 culture. Tamaris will steal 15 culture now, so swing, and he's almost got me now. And he declares another war immediately on green. So Tamaris has found his wars, has found a new tactic as well. He has found the modern army. No air forces, luckily. He will not be able to build an air force on top of this. But he's able to grab a wonder. It's going to be the United Nations, can go for civil service. So he's still looking, or now especially, he's looking like he is going to win this with beating first me and then green, who's not defended enough by Gandhi. I guess I have to be happy that he goes on green with this war, because that will make it more likely that I will finish in 2nd position. But of course it's also the right call for Tamaris, since he's still quite behind green. So if he hadn't gone for this war, only had gone against me, there would have been a big chance that green might have won this. So yeah, green defends by going up to 48 strength, and he does end the age. Actually, could have decided not to end it, but he does. Doesn't want more wars happening. So age 4 will start. I lose my republic, but not much else happening. Destroy a lab to build a religion. Can go for multimedia. Upgrade 1. Grab mechanized agriculture to get out of starvation, and better for, I guess, a couple of impacts, but mostly the starvation. So yeah, no wonder for me. Tamaris steals 33 culture, pushes, we get the input of population, 18, 20, and 12. So actually, pretty okay for me, but as I said, with the colonies, I never had a problem with food. Tamaris goes for oil. Can upgrade that to, I guess there might be a bit of technology with him going for all of these. Finishes United Nations and will evaluate a bit of technology indeed. 1636 and 0. Okay, so this basically guarantees my 2nd position, I would say. Without it, could have gotten close. But yeah, this is really great for Tamaris. Of course, this definitely saves his 1st position here. So a good move by him. Yeah, well played by Tamaris overall, especially the late game here, very impressive. But early game was the same. He just had a very good game overall. Green can upgrade a couple of these movies. 1, 2, and 3 up to 17 culture production. Destroys a cannon. And that's gonna be it for this game. A couple of impacts. Wonders, 7, 16, and 9. So that's pretty good for me. We have industry 6, 8, and 9. Then we got strength 14, 7, and 0. So I think these will stay the same. Harmony 20, 16, and 20. And then the last one will be culture 0, 7, and 14. So even relatively close. Really have to be thankful for Tamaris that he went for the war and that he went for the input of technology. Of course, both of these he did for himself. Those were very good moves for himself. But I profited from it. On the other hand, I lost a little bit of culture as well to Tamaris. So yeah, congratulations to Tamaris. He played a very solid game from start to finish. Very impressive, great start, as I said. As I said earlier, I thought we had a similar position, but his late game was just a lot more potent. I'm not 100% sure why. I mean, one reason, of course, is that he went a lot into military. I wasn't prepared for his tactic switch, and he could catch me off guard with that war, and then even had enough MAs to go for yet another war. Really impressed also by Robespierre. He played with Robespierre really, really well. Used him 2 times, especially to get the fundamentalism, which allowed his wars, so that was great. And in general, always having the high science production from the start with the alchemies was pretty impressive. So it was able to have a lot of different things, and in the end, that great input of technology for 36, which is very impressive. And yeah, wasn't punished for his not having happy faces. He got his pro sports, which was great for him. So all of these factors coming together, I think it was correct to switch from Napoleon to Churchill, who also helped defending a little bit. Maybe it wasn't correct to go for communism, but I think that also worked out great. So I don't think I really make any big mistakes. I mean, even the last mistake of going for Air Force instead of cannons didn't change the outcome any bit. Still was a mistake, pretty stupid one, but didn't change anything in the end. I thought it was a very fun game with a lot of these colonies, with Michelangelo, who had a lot of potential, with the Masonry, which did really a lot in this game. In the end, not enough, because Timoris had a better position and played better, I would say, in the late game. So yeah, congratulations to him. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the match, and see you guys for the next one as well.